September 1886. An obscure railroad watering stop in Texas. These are Apache warriors, Geronimo's Apaches, and this is Geronimo himself, perhaps the most feared Indian who has ever lived. Sitting here with him are the relatives of Victorio, Mangus Coloradus, and Cochise, each a name that echoes through history. These 18 people are among the last of the great Apache warriors, the tigers of the human species, according to one U.S. general. They have lost their battle for freedom, but they have survived. Now they're headed east to Florida, to captivity. For the settlers living in the American Southwest and northern Mexico, their departure has not come soon enough.
I saw them kill my mother and my 2 little brothers by beating their brains out with stones. They took my father and tortured him most dreadfully. An Indian squaw saved my life by holding me behind her and begging them to spare me.
They were the one that first started that. The white people, killing them off. And they were the savages, not the Indians.
Whoever started the terror, whoever initiated the bloodshed, this journey is the end of it. The Apaches have been forced to relinquish their part of the Southwest. But their fight for survival is an unforgettable chapter of American history. The American Southwest. In the 18th century, it is home to an extraordinary variety of native peoples: Pueblos, Navajos, Papagos, Hopis, Mojaves. But one tribe stands out by fighting for its freedom and its homeland with more tenacity and more ferocity than any other. Their name comes from the Zuni word for enemy. They are the Apaches.
When you say Apache, you're talking about a whole nation of Apache. It's not just one tribe of Apache. You go to the east from Oklahoma, you go all the way across New Mexico into Arizona, northern Mexico, and that's all Apache country.
James Kawikla, whose words preserve the Apache oral tradition, talks about the ways of his people and their God.
Before the coming of the White Eyes, my people spent their summers in the mountains of New Mexico, carefree, untrammeled. They migrated to Mexico in the fall, living off the land as they went, killing game, harvesting fruit, and giving thanks to Yusen for the good things he had given.
The Apaches bend every aspect of their environment to their needs and to their military advantage, training their children to survive under almost any conditions, especially war.
When they fought, one of the ways they were taught very young was to dash back and forth like this. And Papa said that he had seen many times warriors would dash back and forth with somebody shooting at them, and they could go up and take a rifle out of somebody's hands, out of the shooter's hands.
In the 1600s, Spanish immigrants begin settling in northern Mexico in Apache territory. Their very presence leads to friction and resentment. Their possessions and their wealth are an irresistible lure. Again and again, Apache warriors swoop down on nearby towns and ranches, stealing livestock, taking hostages, and killing anyone who resists.
The Apaches were not necessarily out to go out and kill people on these raids. It wasn't the point of the raids. It was to acquire property and supplies.
Los labradores tenían que coger su rifle.
The workers had to take their rifles into the field. If they left their rifle at one end of the field to free their hands for driving the team of oxen to plow the soil, the Apaches appeared, picked up that very rifle, and killed the men.
The Mexicans retaliate in kind, the deadly pattern repeating itself endlessly over generations. Thousands of Mexicans and Apaches die violent deaths, and both peoples grow to despise and fear each other. The Mexicans even offer cash rewards for Apache scalps. And in 1839, they hire a bloodthirsty mercenary, James Kirker, and his men. Their orders: kill every Apache they can find. Mexican volunteers and soldiers lead the effort.
The Mexicans were always our enemy. They may have gone in and traded with them, but they were never to be trusted. They were treacherous, they were vicious, they were mean, they were all the bad things that you can think of.
One Mexican attack on an Apache camp in northern Mexico has consequences that will echo throughout the Southwest, because it involves a young Apache warrior called Geronimo. Geronimo later speaks of it.
Late one afternoon, when returning from town, we were met by a few women and children who told us that Mexican troops from some other town had attacked our camp, killed all the warriors of the guard, captured all our ponies, and killed many of our women and children. I found that my aged mother, my young wife, and my 3 small children were among the slain. Whenever I saw anything to remind me of former happy days, my heart would ache for revenge upon Mexico.
The Apaches spread destruction throughout northern Mexico, overwhelming their foe with sheer ferocity and superior tactics.
Apaches were masters at guerrilla warfare, at every form of guerrilla warfare, at moving rapidly across a hostile landscape, at living on the land, so that they were virtually impossible to trap.
The Apache attacks are so unrelenting that they drive settlers from large parts of the Mexican state of Sonora.
They said the Apaches came out at night to trap them, bringing death and destruction to everything they touched.